Looks like we are live. Welcome to this Sunday live stream. If I'm coming through okay. So yeah, I'm gonna play a couple tunes. I've got a few little rhythm section tracks to back me up here from the last few tunes that we've done on the channel. Most recently, a tune called Tune Up, which I'm kind of doing right now. But kind of on the agenda today, I thought I'd mention a little bit about the Barry Harris method or concept. Talk a little bit about that. Thought I'd talk a little bit about sharp 11 chords too, and arpeggios. So let's see if we're coming through here a little bit. Today I'm streaming on Facebook as well as the regular YouTube. And I'll start out by doing a little improv on Tune Up by Miles Davis. And yeah, we'll get started. Welcome your comments, questions, and let me know what you've been working on lately. And talk guitar and improvisation. This is the guitar and improvisation live stream. So this tune is has a series of 2-5-1s going on, and one in the key of D, one in the key of C and one in the key of B flat. And then about the second way through the second, well, maybe the halfway point between the form, it's kind of an interesting little progression, which you might think of as like kind of an embedded 2/5 between the E minor 7 and the A7. Okay, so you go E minor and then F7 to the B flat and to the A7. And sometimes like take a tune like this and you can take a progression like that and you can actually carry that into other tunes and add little progressions from inside other progressions, which is kind of cool. So that's one of those progressions that's kind of cool. So if you had just a tune with a 2/5 in any key, really, but I'll play it in D. 2/5 in D. You know, you can create a line that sounds like. Right. And depending on how quickly that 2/5 goes, you can also do. Right, maybe even just a beat per chord, and that has kind of a nice effect to it too. But you know, but to play that and embed it into other progressions and all that is pretty cool. So if you find a progression that you kind of like or find a little bit challenging, let's see about playing it and working at it, and it may emerge where you might place it into other tunes. So the concept of superimposing changes. So another tune, which I'm kind of considering doing on the channel, is called Countdown, which is based on this progression. It's by John Coltrane, and it kind of goes through all of those types of cycles that are typical to the Coltrane changes that are just kind of embedded in this. So that's kind of written in the tune in that case. But and so that's like E minor 7 to F7 to B flat major 7, excuse me there, and D flat 7, G flat major 7, and then back to the A7. So that's another one if you're trying to get into outside playing a little bit, where you can start playing with that. Right, and be able to suggest some of those lines as you play through it. All right, folks, let's take a quick little break to talk about some of my offerings here. So I've got pretty new membership website on fretprints.com. We've got sound slice exercises, play-alongs, and live streams, and printouts, and all sorts of stuff. So sign up for a free trial. You can check out that link. Check out a link down below in the description, and maybe bookmark that, or sign up today. So love to see you there. Love to join into our growing community. It's really small, so you can get even some personalized attention. Even been doing some feedback on member submitted playing excerpts and things. So having a good time there. So let's play again on this tune. Tune up, a little playing around. So a little bit there, started branching out and experimenting a little bit with that whole idea of superimposing some of the changes. And so kind of dipped into that countdown idea. And that's called superimposing changes, where you're not substituting any changes, but I'm having the changes to tune up, and then I'm superimposing those Coltrane type changes, really specifically from countdown. Maybe not doing it all the time, but kind of suggesting it here and there. So, hey Jeffrey, thanks for joining us today. Good to see you again here. Yeah, so let's might change gears here a little bit and play a little bit on this masquerade. So this past week I did a little article on Substack, which you can check out at study.fretprints.com. Did a little article on some of the dominant sevenths involved with that tune. And you can also check out the I did a little really kind of the same thing on the website and on the email newsletter. So check that out if you get a chance. Hello, Sabran. Thanks for joining. Welcome. Good to see you here. So one thing I'm doing here on this live stream is trying to develop some backing tracks to jam along with and play here. And this is something that I've really been working towards for a long time, but So I hope it's coming through pretty good. So just kind of diving right into it. But thanks for Soberon for nudging me in this direction. Because sometimes you try to prepare on something, and sometimes you just gotta get it out there and just start doing it. But playing live with backing tracks here, so I'm gonna play a little bit on this masquerade, and some of the perspectives I wanted to discuss or hopefully convey in some of my recent lessons are sort of the elastic nature of some of these scales. So if we study some of these scales, we want to gain some insights into the chord tones and non-chord tones, and then stretched out over time, just how it may not be a whole big change to a scale, just a single note. So as I play through it, kind of listen for that C versus the C flat there on the A sections. So some little elements there that I think would be helpful. Just not starting from scratch every chord necessarily. Just kind of like going with the flow of the harmony and kind of keeping our note collections in mind and adapting some tones here and there to just got to work with the progression. And then aside from some of the things that I mentioned there, we have just a few little key centers and things to work at. Essentially, key of 4 flats in the relative minor, F minor, and then the key of the flat 6 chord, D flat, key of 5 flats, and then the key of the 5 chord in major, the C major, and it starts to cycle back. So it's helpful to maybe think in some of those ways. So we had a question. It was from Sabran last time about the Barry Harris method, and so I've investigated that a little bit here and there, and I know it's really trending. So I looked into it a little bit more, and so let's talk a little bit about that. And maybe we'll kind of change gears, go back to tune up, the tune up tune. So we have a 2/5 in D major on this tune. So kind of a good starting point is to think about the D flat, or sorry, excuse me, D major. And so do D major scale, and then add the flat 6 with the sharp 5. So okay, so we're just adding that one note, and it's between the A and the B. And some really interesting things start to emerge when we do that, especially when we consider the 5 and the 1. So notice that if I play every note, like, so that turns into 8 notes, right? So if I play every other note, right, I end up with like a D6 type arpeggio. Okay, and then now if I start on the D and I play every other note, then I get a diminished 7th chord. So you can just by taking that perspective for a little bit, you can really create some little tensions and release just while vamping on the D major chord. So I would recommend trying that. Just maybe even just putting a D major, even a D6 or D6/9 into iReal Pro or something, and then playing on that and just kind of separating those two. So one thing that's kind of cool about it too, from the perspective of the G or A7, excuse me, A7, we end up with a flat 9. So if you play that same diminished 7th arpeggio over the A7, you end up with a flat 9, which is kind of a cool thing, because if you've ever played a A7 or A13 with a flat 9, right, that would be kind of a way at arriving at that sound. Now, another thing you could do too is to start trying to get a sense for, even on the 2/5, how that note would affect that. So if we had E minor, right, then we could have, really, it's kind of bluesy on that. So, or something like that. So you can apply this to both, the major chord, but I would recommend exploring how that sound affects other chords, like maybe on a 2/5, and really trying to get into, okay, it sounds like that on that chord. Think about what it sounds like on this chord, the A7, right? And applying that, almost like learning the modes of the major scale. So let's play a little more on tune-up, and let's explore it a little bit, and a couple things to maybe listen for. So perhaps I'll place that tone added to the scale into it. But also, one other little issue when you're playing and you're sitting on the D for a little bit, you might want a little tension built into that. So maybe we'll add that. We'll play around with the diminished as I'm on it at various times, and we'll kind of transpose that to other keys as well. So if you have the D at C, same kind of thing there. Okay. So yeah, let's do maybe a little more playing here. Okay, so I didn't necessarily use that totally exclusively, but I would say the vast majority of the time I used that kind of note collection. So it's like 8 notes, and then applied to the D major, F major, and B flat major. And so hopefully kind of hear that there are those elements where maybe I spent a little time on the one chord and one of the respective keys, and maybe use that diminished arpeggio, and then switch back over to more of like the 6 chord. So you can create it's almost like a 5/1 thing going on. If you have D major, we have the D6, and then that diminished. So it also works really nicely for doing just stepwise motion, and so I think it's really pretty helpful, and I may be digging into it more and talking about it as we build up our channel and all that. All right, so let's see what else. So we have our a standard of the month here. Georgia on my mind. Let me see if I can pull that one up here. Maybe we'll do a little playing on that. So thanks for joining me today. Probably be here for another about 15 minutes or something. So thanks for joining me today on this Sunday afternoon. Have a cup of coffee or tea. I'm having a little coffee today. Felt like I need a little extra pick-me-up here. This afternoon. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions and send me a hello. So I did do a little bit of testing and things before. And one thing I'm doing during the playing part is I'm muting my microphone. Just to get it kind of isolated and blending nicely. So yeah, let's play a little bit on Georgia on my mind here. So the Barry-Harris method can also be applied to minor. So you notice the bridge goes to the key of the relative minor there. So one thing to check out in general with minor is do kind of the same sort of thing, right? So let's say you have kind of a minor 6. So think of like a tonic minor type chord. like a minor 6. And then you do a very similar kind of thing with that. You're gonna take, of course, play the flat third, and then put a tone in between the 5th and the 6th, right? Okay, and then let's say I have a flat 7, and then the root note. So so that's another thing to do, is just get a little accustomed to that that perspective as well on the minor. And that is another thing I've been talking a little bit on the website, which is this idea of getting to know and understand various minor type scales applied to the tonic minor. So harmonic minor, melodic minor, minor, and natural minor. So there's a good bit of subject to change there, you know, in minor. So if you have right, so there are some real commonplace type chords. That one even has another tone that's kind of lowered. Minor. So minor, you know, typically there's maybe a little more movement. A7. Right. So, and even D minor and G7. So there's a quite a bit that can happen in minor, and some pretty commonplace elements to that. All right, folks. Well, I hope you got a chance to check out the latest video, Chord Melody on Tune Up by Miles Davis. And we have that sharp 11 type chord. I didn't play exactly this voicing. I played this voicing, which gives us a 9 and a sharp 11. So the sharp 11 is another, you know, kind of interesting element that maybe we'll talk a little bit about as we play. So stay with us for another 5 minutes here, and thank you again for joining me. So I'm going to do a little more playing, and then I'll talk a little bit about the sharp 11 a little bit. Okay, so I touched a little bit on some of that Barry Harris kind of thing. It sort of naturally puts in that flat nine into the dominant seventh, which is nice. Creates separating it out a little bit. You get that little separation between the diminished and the sixth chord. So you have a good way to manage consonants and dissonance through that. Another little thing that I was doing there was working a little bit on including the sharp 11 on both the dominant sevenths and also some of the one chords that came up in there. So it's a kind of a nice little tension. It's something that you can play around with there. So if you have an A7, the sharp 11, it's kind of in that melody note. That tends to want to go up to the fifth of that chord. But you can use the sharp 11 to go up, even use the natural 11 to go down. You can build a line like that. Right, so those are some things to possibly to consider, including the sharp 11. Sharp 11 can work into the major chord as well, or the tonic type chords as well. All right, folks. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I do appreciate you watching, and I'll be leaving this up for replay. And please remember to like and subscribe, and check out the website, fretprince.com, to check out our additional lessons there. I think we've got a lot of pretty cool things to do on there. I'm trying to make it kind of a fun place to practice and spend your time. I've got the also have that fingerboard diagram that we have available, so you can even study little shapes and stuff. You're welcome, Sabran. Glad to hear it. Thanks for the encouraging words, Jeffrey. Glad it was a great stream. Awesome. Thank you, Sabran, again. Yes, awesome. Really appreciate it. And yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna try to build a whole library of things. I think putting it in context with the rhythm section is really cool. So. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Hopefully get a little playing in, and I'll see you all in the next one.